So the point is, he's most likely going to be what's called the GOAT of men's tennis, which is the greatest of all time. So super excited. And Nadal, one thing that everybody knows about him, and actually what he said was, which is the topic today, is who wants some sexy suffering? Yes, suffering can be sexy. Nadal said most tennis players aren't willing to suffer, aren't willing to go through the suffering in order to win these big tournaments. And it's the same thing in life. Most people aren't willing to go through the suffering. They're not willing to suffer in order to get to that final goal. And that sometimes is the same thing with our health. And the suffering may be different for everybody, but it's still suffering. The suffering could be like, let's say you want to lose some weight, or you want to reverse your thyroid, your Hashimoto's, you want to reverse your diabetes. The suffering is you're going to have to change your diet. You're going to have to do it day in, day out. You got to watch your diet. You can't just eat crap. You can't drink alcohol. You can't drink coffee. You can't do gluten. You got to suffer. But what's the end result? The end result, most people don't want to go through this suffering, so they always are sick for the rest of their lives. If you need help with going through this suffering, Achieve Integrative Health, we can help you out. We are the best in Central Texas. So if you're not satisfied with your current health status, the quality of your life, if you're not living life to the fullest, you first have to go through the suffering. Like Rafa Nadal said, you have to suffer. The people who are willing to suffer, who are willing to delay gratification. Too often these days, we want instant gratification, and once we don't get it, we quit. People who quit don't go through the suffering. People who don't want to suffer, they quit. And so then they're going to try to convince you to quit. And they're going to say, oh, it's not worth it. Eating, healthy every single day, it's not worth it. Oh, it takes the pleasure out of life. Because they're quitters. That's why they're telling you to do it. So don't be a quitter. If you want to reach your goals, you got to suffer. You got to go through the suffering. And I'm not saying that I was saying about the diet, you have to be strict. Some people think if you can't eat, if you can't eat whatever you want, then it's a suffering. That's what I'm talking about. Suffering is different. Discipline. If you want to excel in your career, you want to build, if you have your own business, you want to build a successful business, you have to suffer. While everybody's wasting their money going on vacations, you're staying home. Doing business development, you're doing personal development, improving yourself. You're using that money and spending on improving yourself instead of that instant gratification. You go on vacation for one weekend, you feel good that weekend, you come back to reality, it's still the same. So people who can put that aside and go through the suffering are able to succeed and achieve their goal. So if you need that help specifically for your health, you want that quality of life for your health, achieveintegrativehealth.com.